Yes, game, I already know how to do it by the forms of trying to able to get into that pole star mechanic, but even then though, because I've already played this like several times in the past, so even then though, there's no point for able to telling me about this kinds of stuff anytime soon, so hey, what is up ladies and gentlemen, I'm Piglet here once again, and I'm back for some more yet again for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to more Let's Play of Super Luigi Galaxy in the Super Mario Galaxy game for the Nintendo Wii/Nintendo Wii U as a download. So, last time we actually did manage to completely done, well, usually we did manage to start the adventure with Luigi by able to actually rescue the first Grand Star, and especially noticeable we did manage to completely done with 3 missions in Good Egg Galaxy, and surprisingly enough, I didn't have too many deaths on it so far, well, until later on throughout. But even then, though, today for this video is the fact that we're about to be heading back to Honey Hive Galaxy to do B Luigi Takes Flight. So, yeah, there's another differences here, is the fact that rather than just actually placing B Mario Takes Flight, because obviously we are going to be playing through as a different character of all things. So in this case, about the fact that we are actually going to be going through, well, the exact same mission, but the actual mission text is actually a little bit more different from, you know, the Mario version. So, in which case, about the fact that we're actually going to be coming across into, you know, be Luigi for any time. So, yeah, if you could tell by this point already, since how the fact that, what's wrong with my voice on my commentary at the moment, well, just because that you remember why I said this before and yesterday? Oh, we got a text right here. Welcome to the Honey Hive Kingdom. Our queen rules this land. So, yeah, apologize for my speech going on right there, especially because of my voice is actually gone really off today. You remember why I said this before about the fact that yesterday I did manage to have a little bit of a tiny sore throat at the time? Well, it's no longer there, regrettably. But now I got myself a pretty nasty cold again. So, it's been a while since I actually had the nastiest cold ever since about 2 months ago. Well, at least after the Nintendo Direct type of scenarios like this. But even then, I might be fine as this, but at this point in time, then, you know, I'm probably not going to say things too much about it because my voice has actually gone really off today. Because I was expecting that me and Rarity can go out somewhere enjoying the likes of tomorrow because of how the fact that, well, as I said this before, that tomorrow I'm probably not going to upload anything else for tomorrow just because, well, you know, me and Rarity are going to be able to do something completely different for tomorrow. So, hopefully that might be the case, mind you. So, that maybe seems to pretty much a big of a deal for my, my honest life. So, anyways though, so today was actually forms of, the 16th of April in 2019. So in this case, about the fact of the matter is though, is that there are some quite a few little things we can able to actually just to talk about. Is the fact that, well, first of all, about the fact of the matter is though, is the fact that something new has been happening with the forms of Super Mario Odyssey game. Well, actually, before I get to that, you transform into B Luigi, hold A to buzz around. So, basically, just like in a Mario playthrough, then obviously you can able to actually hold down the jump button while you're in midair until you're able to actually, like, fly and all that stuff. So, but keep that in mind is the fact that you need to keep an eye out with the, you know, the flight meter. So just in case it doesn't go completely run out, because if it does, then obviously you're not gonna able to actually continue flying for upwards. So, yeah, that might be a total suggestion for that point. So, and also these little, you know, the B2 enemies, they're all trying to go after you. So, when you're in a B transformation, as it is. So, but I digress. Excuse me. So yeah, yeah, I do apologize for this particular point, ladies and gentlemen, because, well, at this point, I'm feeling incredibly bad luck for myself at this point, especially because of how the fact that I was pretty well for the most part, though, especially with, you know, with all this little, voice commentaries and everything like that. But some days, about the fact that specifically today, and especially noticeable with, back in February and during this year, well, I seem to always have some really stupid luck with all this little, illness managed to able to actually come by. So even then, that just really, bugs the hell out of me, because even then, because of how the fact the way how I can able to actually talk, well, I can still better speak, but most of the time though, when it comes to doing commentary and all that stuff, I know my voice is kind of a little bit boring to you, because of how the fact that, well, you know. So anyways though, yeah, with the forms of the new update for Super Mario Odyssey coming into the likes of it next week, by the forms of, I would say the 25th of April, that, expecting with the forms of Nintendo Virtual Reality, Nintendo Labo, that, it did still say that it might be still compatible with the VR, kit with the Nintendo Labo, but it turns out you don't have to acquire one, because even then, according to where, you know, the actual, like, update pointing out is the fact that you don't have to, like, get the virtual reality kit, because even then, because for one thing for me, I'm probably not going to waste my cash, and two, that it makes my room in a messy state if I manage to able to purchase so many of those renditions of, you know, Nintendo Labo kits and all that stuff, because, well, it's a pretty cool idea, but it's not my kind of thing, because either way, I just probably gonna save up by, you know, trying to save myself with all this cash just so I'm trying to able to get, you know, Super Mario Maker 2, and especially noticeable with other Nintendo Switch titles by this point in time. And another, thing I just want to talk about this is the fact that, well, since then now that, Reggie has now been left for his, Nintendo job right about now, and, seems more accurately, though, that he might still be able to become the Twitter account, which even then, though, that might actually get, like, a good thing for my like, but, yeah, that's as far as I can really say about this. I do apologize with the lack of dialogue for this point, folks, because, again, I'm getting so sick of, like, getting a lot of calls these days, especially with, for this time of year, that it seems is more accurately, though, my common illness at the moment, so... But thankfully, though, it's nowhere near as common as sickness or anything. Oh, a bee! What? Luigi? Hey, is that you? We escaped from Peach's castle too. But then we thought Bowser would get us, and then we got lost with Luigi? Wait a minute, Captain Toad, I was right in front of you! Oh, what jeez, what are you talking about? Oh, I just remembered, we found a power star, I'm sure you need this along the way, so... In this case, give me my power star. Although first things first, we need to select that little power star to reach onto this landing spot, and sure enough, we'll get our power star in the process. So, yep, that's as far as I can usually say about this for this point. So, and of course, since we actually reached back here, then obviously some more stuff has been happening. So even then, though, let's see how it's getting along. So. 5 stars, and I believe we only got about 115 stars in total left, because, you know, we're gonna be getting all of the stars just like in a Mario playthrough, so... Luigi, your name is Luigi, isn't it? What is what I heard from your friends who just arrived? Luigi, it has such a nice ring.
Look.
Your friends are waiting for you in the garage. I think they want to tell you something, so you best hurry on over there. Well, I would love to, Rosalina, but because I'm most likely focusing on, you know, grabbing all these power stars and all that stuff, so I'm kind of busy at this point, so I really do apologize for that, but even then, oh wow, we got exactly 800 star bits. Well, not for a long time though, because even then, whenever we get to the next mission, by the forms of going back to the Honey Hive Galaxy as far as at this point, then sure enough we can able to actually grab the insane amount of star bits, especially with that nice area that we can able to actually discover through. So, trouble on the tower. So basically we need to get all the way up to the top of the actual tower, or to be more accurate, the tower windmill section. So, yeah, that pretty much summarizes it by that particular stuff in mind. So, now, there's something I want to classify for, like, trying to be brutally honest for this point. I was expecting if there's going to be a new update that's about to be up with, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, when it comes to, like, not only version 3.0, but also by the forms of, the first, true DLC character. Well, technically the second DLC character at this point, by the forms of Joker from Persona 5. But I was expecting they're going to be able to get themselves the release dates going on with Smash Bros. Ultimate version 3.0. In addition with able to actually add in Joker as a playable character, as a DLC character. And especially noticeable with, I would say 2 new modes, but in forms of like, even though it's clearly blurry, but in forms of in it back in a you know, the previous Nintendo Direct from the 13th of February and stuff. But I do have one question about this though. Where is the final release date between these three things? Do you remember it did say about the fact that they're going to be releasing at some point in spring? But apparently though, it was expected it might actually be released until in April, but those seem to be by the forms of specific, because even then, well, it's kind of like the same thing for how it does it back in 2018, when I was really looking forward to with Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle DLC content, most notably Donkey Kong Adventure DLC, you know, DLC Adventure, that we have to wait. Expected it might actually become until Buddy forms up at some point in spring, but it turns out it was delayed in summer 2018, just in case for E3 conferences and all that stuff, which, you know, I'm gonna get down with, because even then though, because they need some more time to develop, but especially with, you know, with the, you know, Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle, it's almost been out for about 2 years since, well, I would say, well, that was back in 2018, that has almost been out for about a year ago, back in 2018, so expecting such, then yeah. Alright, so let's activate that bridge here, and just get some more star bits due to, like, stopping that wiggler over there. So, yeah, by that time, about the fact that with the more uploading recording sessions with Super Luigi Galaxy at this point, then I might as well able to still make myself better by the later parts, but not so much by the forms of today though, because as you can tell, I'm in a rough diamond on the rough mode. So, oh wow, that triple jump is actually very good right there, because even then though, not only because of how the fact that you can able to go straight into the forms of that little launch star instantly, but it's also about the fact the matter is though, is that if you do a triple jump successfully with Luigi, you can jump the insane amount of highness as far as I can able to actually, you know, trying to able to convince myself right there, so. But I'm really sorry to say for the forms of the awkward dialogue for that point, because again, that, you know, the cold I actually gonna be having for the majority of today, so. But then again, until later on though, I will be start making myself a little bit better, but it's just that for whatever reason, whenever I manage to able to get my cold gone away, for some reason my voice has actually gone a little bit more rough around the edges though, so that might be the only negative thing I can think of at the time, so. Now, speaking of such, whenever I mentioned this before, about the forms of Rayman 3, Ludicon Havoc, or something like that, for that particular game I did manage to order, specifically for the Nintendo GameCube version, because I was originally going to get myself the PlayStation 2 version, so that it could able to actually get the opportunities with the PlayStation family for Rayman goodness, but turns out I feel like that the GameCube version to me though, well it might feel rough around the edges on the GameCube version, but at least compared to the forms of the superior Game Boy Advance version known as Rayman 3, that is essentially a 2D platformer, just like the you know, Rayman 1, the original, especially noticeable with the Game Boy Advance version of Rayman 1, known as Rayman Advanced. So, yeah. Oh, really? Oh, jeez, thank you for giving me a knockback right there. In fact, it's been a long time since that's been happening, since, well, obviously that video is no longer there back in 2012, that's most likely such. That, I seem to able to actually get myself my first death on that time. But except the fact that, well, I did not even realize there was actually a live stream in here. So even then though, yeah, that's as far as I can think about it. So anyways, let's kill him for one last time. And sure enough, we can able to grab that power star immediately. So, there we go folks, that concludes the Trouble on the Trouble, or, sorry, can't speak today for this point. Trouble in a Tower, or on a tower I should say. So, yeah, I think we've got enough time to able to do more missions here and there. See, even then though, I'm pursuing the next mission on the, you know, Honey Hive Galaxy, which will definitely have to be, you know, Big Bad Bugger Boom. So, yeah, that makes it totally obvious here. So, now, during my own time, I'm actually able to actually play through, quite a bit with the forms of, not only for, Rayman on the PlayStation 1, when I've managed to able to got that item, but it's also I've managed to, test out by the forms of the PlayStation 2 version of Sonic Gems Collection Compilation, which again only came out in the UK and Japan, but not so much for North America. But anyways though, here we go with Big Bad Bugger Boom, as I said this before for that particular mission as far as that's been concerning with. And before we continue, we'll go ahead and grab these star bits that usually represents M for Mario and all that stuff. So generally speaking, you can get the idea for that point, mind you. So anyways though, and if I've managed to play through Sonic R for the PS2, well, to be more specifically, Sonic Gems Collection on the PS2 version of that Sonic R game, yeah, the loading times are somewhat of the same length as of how it does it from the GameCube version, and if I've played Sonic the Fighters on the PlayStation 2 version of that game, I realized that the actual cutscenes did manage to able to go supremely faster compared to the forms of the GameCube version's counterpart, although it's mainly because of the fact that it might be on a different setting or some kind, but even then, that makes it a little bit obvious for this point here. And talk about this little concept edition, that I managed to able to actually unlock more concept arts on the PlayStation 2 version, and eventually by this point, I'm also able to actually unlock these final boss demos in any Sonic games retrospective for that knowledge, until in the future anyway, because, well, it might be seems redundancy by default of the PS2 system, but the fact of the matter is though, is that we've already technically got every single of those Sonic Game Gear titles for the Mega Collection Plus compilation on the PlayStation 2, and especially notable with the any single mainstream Sonic the Hedgehog titles on the actual, specific point right there. So, even then though, that it might be seems redundancy if I manage to unlock those, final boss demos from, the museum mode. So, yeah, you get the idea for that point. Especially because of the fact that since we are in UK, especially for those who lived in Japan, then we'll be considered to be getting pretty lucky with all these little, compilations that we have. So, specifically on the PlayStation 2, because unfortunately for North America, they only get Gems Collection only for the GameCube, which is totally obvious because even then, though, that's, Alright, so here we go with Bucket Boom. See, even then, though, just like last time, we need to able to actually ground pound to its, marking spot right there, until you're able to actually count as a hit. So, that maybe seems clearly obvious here. So, anyways though, so let's go and ground pound him again, and hopefully we can able to actually get to the third and final phase. I don't know if I can able to actually get him straight away though, because there are a few times though that I might as well able to actually ground pound the attack by almost a certain delay right there, like you see that right there, or perhaps maybe because I managed to done it a little bit sooner or later, but hopefully though, for a second time's a charm, then sure enough, I managed to got him just fine. So there he goes, Bucket Boom. So yeah, we're not going to see him ever again anytime soon, well, but, we're not going to mention more details about that as soon as when, the second half of 2019 awaits us. So that makes it totally obvious here. See, Fernando, that concludes, for the most part, that pretty much does it for now on, though, with the Honey Hive Galaxy. So, but of course, there's still more things to come for this point, after we're able to actually go through, the majority of the time many times. So, anyways, though, so I believe we're going to be moving on to the next galaxy now. See, Fernando, and also we've actually unlocked the Hungry Lumber right there. See, Fernando, that way we can able to actually, go through all that until later, because first of all, let's go ahead and go for the Loop-de-Loop Galaxy quickly, so that way we can able to do with only one mission. In fact, this might actually be the final time exploring this stage, because of that though, since, we've already done this as Mario, so Surfing 101, in this case, Surfing 101. Again, we keep on referencing 101 Dalmatians at this point, even including the most recent TV series has been just recently released on Disney Channel actually, by the forms of 101 Dalmatian Street, which I haven't really watched any of this because of how the fact that it might be felt drastically different for my liking, because, well, the thing is, I was pretty much used to with the original 101 Dalmatians film, and especially noticeable with that very, very good sequel by the forms of 102 Dalmatians, Patch's London Adventure, because that was my favorite childhood sequels, but even then though, that's besides the point. Although, the only thing about this particular stage, especially whenever we get to Rolling Green's Galaxy, you do need to still come across into those tutorial segments once in a while. So even then though, just because of how the fact that since we've already clearly know what we're going to be doing, but obviously unlike the Notoku Shield TV, the Chinese exclusive console, that these tutorial sequence has been completely skipped over? Well, the only time it's unskippable is the fact that the actual instructions tells you to be able to actually steer the, you know, the manta ray and all that stuff. So, anyways, onto this particular stage for the second and the final time for this particular Let's Play, because obviously that, well, as far as the actual uploading schedules are concerned with Super Luigi Galaxy at this point, although, mind you, that we're still able to actually continue on with certain Let's Plays by this point, like, you know, Sonic needs to still need to get back into Shadow the Hedgehog, and especially noticeable that Sonic and Pinkie Pie are still going to be carry on doing Super Mario Party as it is, and, also, same applies for, well, I know for the fact that we could able to actually redo, or in this case by default, able to actually go for the actual proper Let's Play again, or in this case, like, well, it's hard to explain, because even then, since if you guys should already know, although before I get into that, actually, it is so damn difficult to able to actually get all 50 of those coins in this track, because I always keep on missing one by that stingy little turn right there, but I was like, you know what, despite the fact that I missed one coin, and I'm just like, whatever, let's just go ahead and finish the level anyway, so, yeah, there we go. Alright, so let's get ourselves our glorious Power Star. In this coach's case, he did manage to say gold medal, so, but there he goes, onto the actual first place Pendulum. So even then, let's get up there, and able to obtain, of course, the Power Star itself. So, there we go. I think that pretty much does it for conclusion of the Loop-de-Loop Galaxy. So, I don't suppose we can never go back in that place ever again for that point now, because, you know, this is a second playthrough. So, but I digress, Galaxy completed, and 49 coins out of 50 coins, which, again, I did accidentally miss that one coin from that specific turn right there. We discovered the enemy base in the region, so this means about the fact that the actual boss fight will be on its horizon. So, but of course we can't go there just yet though, because I need to focusing on the next two galaxies by this point, which there are Flip Switch Galaxy and the Sweet Sweet Galaxy from that Hungry Luma. So I need to focusing on those two first. So let's get started with, of course, the Flip Switch Galaxy. So things can get a little bit more compact as you would think. So, painting the planet yellow. So, yeah, another thing's worth mentioning though, since I've already mentioned about this for about a few seconds ago, that not only do I get myself, my voice has actually gone pretty off today, but it's also because of how the fact that, well, I actually got myself my sniffy nose. So I do apologize by the forms of how the fact that I'm in a rubbish statement at this point in time, but, you know, until the later videos by this point, hopefully I should be better by then. So, mainly until when it gets to Thursday, because, you know, me and Rarity are going to be busy doing something like that until tomorrow, so there won't be any uploading videos for the time for tomorrow, so, but again, it doesn't seem to be matter to me. Oh god, I'm almost going to die any moment now, and because of that though, you know. Alright, so let's grab the coin here, so just in case for, you know, get some more health supplies and all that stuff. And by the way, one thing I forgot to mention, or in this case, well, Sonic and Pinkie Pie didn't seem to mention about this actually, is the fact that, well, we actually did manage to now finally add it to the actual subscription of, you know, the Nintendo Switch Online services now. So even then though, hopefully expecting we can able to finally play online stuff, especially noticeable with Super Mario Party's Mario Fun, and especially noticeable with, you know, the Mario Kart 8 online racing matches, and especially with Splatoon 2, but the thing is though, is that I've already got myself the, well, at least we've already got ourselves the year timeline from now on though, especially with the subscription, with all this, you know, Nintendo Switch Online services there, so, especially I did manage to try out briefly for the Nintendo Entertainment System games lineup, and it seems I'm actually playing the games all by myself there, because I'm pretty sure that both Sonic and Pinkie Pie did manage to play through Super Mario Party in quite in a late night. Well, not so much in a midnight per se, but even then, that's as far as I can think about it. So, anyways though, onwards to Sweet Sweet Galaxy. So, I believe this is actually the final time during this particular stage. So, onwards to Rocky Road. Again, not to be confused as one of the minigame names of the exact same name as both Mario Party 6 and especially noticeable with Mario Party the Top 100, but the only difference is here is the fact that it's obviously based off from Sweets as opposed to like driving across the forms of like somewhat the edge of the road or anything. So, but nonetheless though, that in the in Mario Party 6, that Shy Guy did manage to able to drive the vehicle for you, whilst in the top 100, it was for some reason Toad and Toadette especially if you made it to the end. So, but then again, I just found out the top 100's character roster is somewhat lackluster in comparison to the most recent Mario Party game, which is Super Mario Party, which definitely feels like a step up from the top 100 to me anyway, because even then, why in the world do you have to put in lesser amounts of playable characters in the top 100? It was supposed to be celebrating with any single Mario Party games basically, but you can't just like ditch down for that character roster. I mean, you did done that before in Mario Party DS, which I don't mind about this too much, because even then, due to the handheld's limitations. But why in the world do you have to do that in that particular title? I mean, oh god. But anyway, so let's go ahead and leave this stage, and because of that though, let's obtain that power star, and we'll leave the stage until, well, forever now, because even then, as I said this before, this is the final time exploring this stage. So, there we go. I think that concludes Sweet Sweet Galaxy. So, there's only one thing left to do for this particular point and onwards. Well, as much as if we are able to actually get back into the Terror Stone, then we shall be able to actually deal with, you know, the first, you know, big boss or anything like that. So, but I digress. So let's get into the forms of the actual, like, Bowser Jr.'s Robot Reactor, as far as the actual level itself is called. So even though, again, we need to activate, you know, in order to actually activate this level, it's the fact that you need to grab, you know, 8 power stars at least. So, or perhaps even more than that, but even then, yeah. Alright, so Mega Legs Moon, as far as the actual mission description says. So even though, let's hop into this. And I think I'm afraid to say is the fact that this is actually the final time we're going to be seeing Mega Leg right there, because even then, I still find that particular boss very, very intense and especially noticeable, like very awesome at the same time, because even then though, that he's actually gigantic compared to any other bosses in the game, and especially noticeable with how the fact that I was very damn hyped about that when that game did manage to able to first announce it back in 2006, and then whenever they got the 2006 E3 demo, and one of the bosses they did show was the Mega Leg, and I was like, oh my god, that is so huge, and I was really hyped about that. But it still really impressed me still, but even then though, that it's kind of a shame this is actually the final time we're gonna see him in this particular game. So, especially noticeable how the fact that in the future games and onwards, then he's never to be seen around here. So, oh look, we got Bowser Jr. returns. But except the fact that Luigi managed to come across into him for, you know, woohahaha, you made it. But I won't even need my dad's help to take care of you. Oh really? Go at him, Mega Leg. Stomp him with the power of your Grand Star. But then again, dialogue itself was pretty much unchanged as it is, so but even then though, onwards to the Mega Leg fight. But then again, he was really, really big. He was seriously gigantic. Although I don't know what's the point about the forms, so you know there was actually like 3 cages to be buzzed out of, but for some reason I've never seemed to able to come across into it because I'm most likely focusing on, oh really? Thanks a lot. Anyways though, that the only time I managed to able to go ahead and you know, just trying able to get that level finished is that obviously I have to deal with the boss itself. So anyway, so just like last time, we need to able to actually bust out the cages occasionally, but the catch is though, is that's about the fact that since if you think he's actually done and over with, but it turns out that, you know, he's not done yet because he managed to able to actually deal with this different formation of that cages right there. So anyways, let's do a nice little backflip right there, and oh, phew. That was close. Despite the fact that if I managed to get hit, while the actual like stained glass contains the Grand Star itself, they managed to smash apart. But even then, though, that I still managed to live as it is. So, but despite that though, I've only got 1 piece of health left. So, but even then, though, thankfully though, when you're done with the mission itself, as to be expected by this point, your health will be fully regenerated. So, there's no need to worry about that because even then, though, this is a farewell to the forms of Mega Leg for now, because, well, by this point, until Super Mario Galaxy 2, then, we're able to come across something a little bit more drastically different. But then again, until the second half of this year, so we keep on mentioning about that particular description earlier, because even then, I'm thinking that most people think it's pretty obvious by this point, so anyways though, now we've actually unlocked the second dome for the Super Luigi Galaxy mode, so even then though, we can now actually get into the Felton Dome. Well, until the next video anyway, because even then though, that again, it will be up until this Thursday, because until tomorrow, there won't be any uploading schedules for this point.
Look.
That ball of flame represents the power of the observatory. We call it the beacon. When you recover a grand star, a little star power will be restored and a beacon will grow. Pretty obvious for this point here. The Comet Observatory can use that power to fly through the universe. Once all of the power is restored, we will be able to fly to the center of the universe. And yeah, basically that brown luma right there will tell you about the fact that the next new dome is going to be, so even though it's clearly obvious, it's the Felton. So, I'm afraid to say guys, is the fact that we got the ending result for this point right there. I know it's a little bit of a rubbish commentary sake just because of my illness statement, so, but hopefully when it gets to like in Thursday potentially, then I should be better by then. So join me next time on Let's Play Super Luigi Galaxy, is the fact that we're about to be going on to the Felton Dome. So see you guys next time. Later fellas.